Good morning, television family. It's good to see you again. It is the 21st day of March, 2024, according to my calendar. It's Thursday, and it hasn't lied to me yet. Fairly pleasant morning, 46 degrees. The sunrise is right now. If you're watching the live 7 o'clock edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, it is officially sunrise. Sun will set tonight at 7:16. Makes it easy for me to add it up. That's 12 hours and 16 minutes of daylight. Had another beautiful day yesterday. Had a few more clouds, but it was very mild. Not too bad today. We're going to be about 6, 7, 8 degrees cooler for our afternoon high than we saw yesterday, but still quite a bit of sunshine. The big change really comes in tonight as a deep trough just off the Pacific Ocean is going to start barreling in here. It's going to knock that high ridge of high pressure out of alignment and out of here. That's been giving us all that sunny and warm weather, and we are in for a pretty interesting active weather pattern right through the middle of next week, and we're going to go from record high temperatures or near record high temperatures to below normal temperatures in a very quick manner. All those details are coming up. It was a very busy day in the newsroom yesterday. A lot of things going on in the Wenatchee Valley, North Central Washington. We'll let you know exactly what that is when we get to the news. In sports, the Wenatchee Wild, they're still in fourth place. That's as good as we're going to get. We want home ice advantage for the first round of the WHL playoffs, but we're stumbling to the finish line. Victoria took it to the Wild last night up in Canada. We'll have highlights of that. Kraken didn't play. Mariners didn't play, but we will have some sports for you anyway. It is Thursday. Pause for pets. Tyson the dog needs a home. We'll visit with our friends at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and since we had such a great time visiting with Bonnie Orr to celebrate the first day of spring a couple of days ago, if you missed it, you're going to get a chance to see it again with all those important spring lawn and garden tips from the gal who knows what she's talking about. I'm one of those persons who defers to experts. If I don't know what I'm talking about, you talk to somebody who does, and Bonnie certainly does. You'll hear from Bonnie in the back half of the program. Let's do our tour now that the sun has crept up over the East Wenatchee bench. Just a few high clouds out there from our Wenatchee Heights camera. It is going to cool down today, but it's not going to be a big dramatic cool down. That's not the real big deal. The big dramatic cool down is really going to happen on Friday and into Saturday. We're going to have a lot of rain. Saturday is going to feel pretty raw, cloudy, rainy, and cold on Saturday. Want to give you a quick heads up if you have outdoor plans there. Next up on our tour around the valley, the number one Canyon camera, looking right at the sunrise, looking very pretty. Just about 3 minutes ago, we were going through the cameras. That was a really spectacular shot. It's still nice from a ridgetop high above number one Canyon, looking almost exactly due east, a little southeast, if you will. Let's see what's happening up in Waterville. Well, you can't see Waterville, but that is the Waterville camera. We have it flipped around 180 degrees to look right down towards the Wenatchee Valley. You can make out Mission Ridge. You can see the snow really melted with these high temperatures. We hit 69 yesterday. That was just one off the record high of 70. We almost did it again yesterday, but no record high temperatures heading our way for the foreseeable future. Good morning to the Columbia River. And finally, Jump Off Ridge. Yeah, there's a spectacular view. Maybe one of my favorite. It's got to be in my top 5 cameras is the Jump Off Ridge camera, because you can just see so much. What a dramatic shot from Jump Off Ridge. Why do they call it Jump Off Ridge? I don't want to know all of a sudden. I wish I hadn't asked myself that question, why Jump Off Ridge is called Jump Off Ridge, because if you jump off the ridge, you ain't surviving. Trust me on that. If you're heading up into the Cascades this weekend, mountain snow is not out of the question. Now, it's not going to snow a lot on Snoqualmie or Stevens, but it is going to snow. I mean, you could see some slick snow-covered roads on those particular passes. Not a lot of snow, but it's going to be pretty consistent snow showers, I guess is the best way to put it. Down here in the valleys, we're going to see some rain, especially on Saturday. Saturday looks pretty darn wet. In fact, Friday night into Saturday. It's going to start raining Friday night about midnight. It's going to rain pretty much all day on Saturday. So they have upped the precipitation totals from the National Weather Service. It looks something like this. Not bad today. In fact, you want to can today and enjoy it with a high of 62. Quite a bit of sunshine. That's still well above normal. Our normal high this time of the year is 54. We'll be well above that. Little on the breezy side as this trough begins to dug in and brings us the active weather, and it will start coming in earnest overnight tonight. You're going to wake up tomorrow morning with lots of clouds, and it's going to stay cloudy pretty much all day Friday. Late in the day is our chance of rain. Now, the timeline for rain over the weekend is pretty much Friday night about midnight, and it could rain pretty heavily Friday night. You're going to wake up Saturday to rain, and it's going to rain pretty much all day on Saturday. Quite a bit of rain, and look how much cooler we're going to be. It's a cold trough that's coming our way, cold and wet, with a high of only 50 on Saturday. 37 for the overnight low Saturday night, with continuing off and on rain showers. Light rain possible Sunday morning before we dry out, and a high of 56, so we're back up to normal there. Hit and miss and active weather Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, as we are now pretty much full on into spring mode. So today is the nicest day of the next 7 days, if you like, sunny and nice temperatures, and I'm one of those. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll let you know what exactly has been making news around here over the last day or so. It's next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley Thursday edition on the NCW Life channel.
Most of us are in touch with the internet in one way or another all day long. A fast, secure connection matters. It keeps us entertained, informed, and in touch. Local cares about your connection. We know strong, reliable internet with your choice of speed makes life better. If you need fast, reliable internet, or maybe an upgrade, or you just have questions, connect with us by visiting localtel.com or call 509-888-8888 today.
Come see how very different you will feel in your Bullfrog Spa.
The Lake Chelan Chamber of Commerce presents Wonders of Wooden Avenue.
Steelhead Cider offers 20 taps with cider, beer, and wine, featuring views of the lake, great music, and fantastic flights. Find it on Wooden Ave behind the bookstore in downtown Chelan.
Kelly's Classic Ace Hardware Store. From the minute you walk through the door, you'll feel the difference. Kelly's revives the days of personal service lost in the big box stores of today. Kelly's Ace Hardware in classic downtown Chelan.
Wonders of Wooden Avenue, North Central Washington's premier shopping district.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect. No matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier. Total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Couple of high clouds hanging around, 45 degrees. That's pretty much what we're going to have today. A couple of high clouds hanging around. Sunshine's going to have the upper hand, though. Lower 60s. The cold, wet trough begins to work its way in tonight. Friday, we start cooling down. We start raining, or seeing some rain Friday night. Pretty much all day Saturday. We'll dry off a little bit on Sunday. Say minutes after the hour, Wenatchee Police Chief Steve Crown is retiring. In a press release, the city of Wenatchee announcing yesterday that Chief Crown intends to retire in late June after 33 years in law enforcement. 8 years he's been the head of the Wenatchee Police Department. Crown began his law enforcement career in 1991 in Wenatchee as a patrol officer with the department. In 2002, he was hired by the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife as an officer. He eventually became the head dude there in the enforcement division of Fish and Wildlife, and he returned, of course, to the Wenatchee Police Department to serve as police chief. He's had that job since 2016. The city said that the recruitment process to replace Chief Crown will include stakeholder and community outreach in the coming months. The U.S. Postal Service announced Wednesday it's going to go right ahead with its plans to change the way you're going to be getting your mail. They're going to divert a lot of Wenatchee's mail handling services to Spokane. You've heard about this. The USPS says its mail center in Old Station will remain open, but all residential mail will be sent to Spokane for postmarking and then heads to its destination, even if the letter in the card is sent from one Wenatchee address to another. Similar changes are in store for Yakima. Some mail handling there is going to be shifted to the Seattle area. Wenatchee Valley residents expressed dismay at the plan in public hearings over the winter. In fact, the Chelan and Douglas County auditors both warned of troubling delays into handling ballots, but the Postal Service says it foresees about $360,000 annual savings from the move, as well as a net decrease of 4 employees at the old station facility. Link Transit commissioners agreed Tuesday to keep a crucial funding source intact for at least the next couple of years, setting aside a push by some board members to take the question back to the voters. The vote was unanimous from the 12-member Link board, half of whose members wanted to place the voter-approved tax of 0.2% back on the ballot 5 years after they said okay back in 2009. Our very own Jefferson Robbins filed this report.
The Link Transit Board is made up of elected representatives from Chelan and Douglas County and the cities within them. They oversee the public transit agency, which serves the entire region, with fare-free buses, elder and disabled transit, and 10 park-and-ride lots for commuters. In 2019, voters in the Link district gave nearly 54% approval to a 0.2% sales tax, which aimed to complete the board's Vision 2020 expansion of routes and services. That tax now provides about $6 million of the total $59 million budget for the regional bus service. But last July, some elected officials who make up the board, including Douglas County Commissioner Kyle Steinberg and Rock Island Mayor Randy Agnew, said Link hadn't achieved its Vision 2020 goals and that they might be attainable without the 0.2%. They argued that voters should be asked to approve or deny the tax a second time. Members of the public were adamant that the tax should remain in place and the question be kept off the ballot.
I don't see where the anti-tax sentiment is coming from. The Eastmont bond just technically lost by less than 1%, right? Almost 60% of Eastmont voters said we want to tax ourselves at a higher rate to pay for better schools. So I don't see where the anti-tax sentiment is coming from.
The reason I voted for this tax was because of jobs, jobs, jobs. We work so hard in this region to bring in employers and to provide them with workers to keep their businesses running. And if we can't provide a workforce that shows up on time and is there for them, we're going to lose employers and we're going to lose the ability to bring in new people. They're going to bring jobs that are going to better our community. And that is so important for rural communities.
If you really think you've got money coming out whatever and you don't need it, then let's have more service. I think that's why we're here today. We voted for more service. So I urge you to reject this proposal.
Link CEO Nick Covey said Tuesday overturning the tax could make Link ineligible for millions in outside transportation grants and jeopardize current plans for new park and rides and vehicle maintenance yards.
All those capital projects, the expanded service, it takes capital, it takes money. And this, our 6/10 will do it. You take that away, without going into the presentation, we have to reduce Sunday service. We have to reduce about 30,000 service hours a year to balance the budget over the next 10 years. So it will hit Sunday service, it will hit frequencies, it will hit communities, it will hit a lot of individuals personally.
The board tabled the question last July until this month. Chelan County Commissioner Kevin Overbay made the motion Tuesday to keep the tax on the books until June 30th, 2026. Or until Link completes the Vision 2020 plan the tax was designed to fund. Jefferson Robbins, NCW Life.
Thank you, Jefferson. The former manager of a Lake Chelan rental agency will serve 54 months in prison for stealing and laundering money from the business. 39-year-old Dennis Jonathan Sullivan entered a plea to 4 felonies in Chelan County Superior Court earlier this month for his mismanagement of Windermere Vacation Rentals, where he paid an estimated $170,000 to people who weren't on the payroll for work that was never performed. He was initially facing 10 felony charges, but he agreed to plead guilty to first-degree theft, money laundering, and attempting to lead organized crime. Sullivan reported to jail on Monday. After his sentencing, he apologized in court for his actions. The city of East Wenatchee is accepting applications for the now vacant city council seat. Former city council member Sasha Slyman resigned in February, citing health concerns. Now, to be eligible, you must be a registered voter of the city of East Wenatchee when you file your candidacy, and you must be a resident of the city of East Wenatchee for at least 1 year prior to election. To be considered, applications must be completed and received to the city clerk's office no later than 5 o'clock on Wednesday, April 10th. Applications and further information can be found on the City of East Wenatchee's website. And North Central Washington counties are among those sharing $55 million that was released this month from the state's litigation against opioid companies. Attorney General Bob Ferguson announced Wednesday that Chelan County and the City of Wenatchee will share $5.1 million in settlement money paid out by 3 drug producers and distributors for their part in the state's opioid addiction crisis. Also getting money, $2.3 million for Douglas County and East Wenatchee together, $3 million to Okanagan County, and $5.9 million to Grant County. Local governments must agree to use the funds for drug treatment and prevention programs in their communities. That's the news in about 16 minutes after the hour on this Thursday. The news will come your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock on TV. The NCW Life Evening News, 5, 6, and 10. Jefferson Robbins, by the way, will be in the anchor chair tonight. If that doesn't fit into your schedule, log on to our website. We'll have it up and running there at about 5 o'clock, our YouTube page, our Facebook page, and on our app. If you don't have our app yet, there's the QR code. Pick up your smartphone and get right at it. Of course, we also have a Twitter page and an Instagram page. I didn't know that. Actually, I did. And if anything out there warrants our attention, give us an email, news@ncwlife.com. When we come back, sports. In 2 minutes, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you're calling on 35 plus years of experience in the Wenatchee Valley. Spending extra time in your home, you may have discovered an unwanted aroma. Stinky feet, pets, who knows what. Call Dick's today about installing their Train Clean Effects electronic air cleaner or a Rheem Halo ultraviolet air purifier. Either way, the air quality in your home will be improved. Proudly servicing all of North Central Washington, call 884-6444 today.
In sports, at 18 minutes after the hour, the Wenatchee Wild dropped their 3rd straight game last night, but they still hold a 2-point lead for 4th place in the Western Conference. The Victoria Royals scoring 4 times in the second period, and they cruise to a 7-3 victory in Victoria.
Reshney directs it back. Jaron Brinson, defenseman for the Royals, over to Matthew Keller, scored his first Western Hockey League goal last game. G has trouble with the puck behind the net, turned it over, out in front, it's in the net! Taylor Trembecki scores after a miscue by Brendan G behind the net. Lost sight of it, was caught in his feet, he was trapped. And the Royals throw it out in front, and the yawning cage to go and retrieve. Backhands it to the right point, Prasovsky has a look in, as Rashad scores, hits pay dirt. We got a tie game at 1 on a power play goal from Prasovsky, whose shot found its way through. Got him pinned deep right now, and Victoria now able to come out to center. Power play 13th in the league. For Hogan Evenson down the left wing. Goes back to the slot, they score! Pasternak directs it home after a sweet feed from Casper Hogan Evenson. And the power play scores 28 seconds into it. Handles along the blue line to the high slot. He'll spin with the puck, having a look in, goes down Main Street, toe drag, shoots, scores! A gorgeous goal from Dawson Pasternak, his 2nd of the night. And the Royals go up by 2 and lead the Wild 3-1. Trembecki did from Burlock. Reich was on that unit. Now it's sent out in front, it's back of the net for the Wild, as Sherbina finds Bukarts for his 2nd of the game. And it's 3-2 now for the... And the Royals will charge back up the ice on left wing. Hogan Evenson, the saucer feed, it's off the pad, it's in the net! Nate Miskey finishes off his own rebound. And the Royals have a 3-goal lead. It's 5-2. With about $1:20 to go, they've scored. And the Royals are in. Burlock to the slot, Wrights just put it wide. Burlock scores on the rebound off the end wall. 2 goals late for Victoria. And they've opened up a 6-2 lead on the Wild. Or crossing the blue line, ran into his own man and gave up the puck. Wu tried a quick shot, it's into traffic, and a rebound chance, and they score. The Wild do. As popping this one home is Cooper on the backhand, as the Wild just threw it into traffic in the slot in the Royal zone. It hit a body in front. Half wall, he's got a goal in the game tonight. Pasternak, 2 goals and an assist. Takes a return feed from Kipke. Pasternak cross ice. Reshney tried a one-touch pass, broken up, but he got it back off the board. Now Levention's alone in front, and he scores! Top corner. What finish from Tyson Leventure here on the power play for his 2nd of the night, and they restore the 4-goal lead. It's now 7-3 Victoria. Leventure found it on his stick, all alone in front, and the Royals goal leader.
So the Wild have a 2-point lead. They're hanging on to 4th place, but not by much. They have a 2-point lead over Vancouver. They have a 3-point lead over Kelowna and Victoria. There are just 2 games left for the Wild tomorrow night in Victoria and Saturday in Everett. All right, let's go dancing. The men's NCAA tournament gets underway today. Of course, we have 2 teams from our area in the big dance. In the Midwest region in Salt Lake City, number 5 seed Gonzaga takes on number 12 seed McNeese State. You can watch that on TBS. They'll tip it off at 4:25. And in Omaha, it is the East region bracket. Number 7 seed Washington State will take on number 10 seed Drake. That's on True TV at 7:05 tonight. The first ever WBIT tournament is underway, and both schools have home games. Lamar will be in Pullman to take on Washington State. That'll be at 6 o'clock on ESPN+, and the Georgetown women visit the Washington women at 7 o'clock at Heck Ed, also streaming on ESPN+. The struggling Seattle Kraken will try to make up some ground on the team they are chasing for the final wild card spot in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Kraken are in Las Vegas. They'll take on the Golden Knights tonight. 7:30, Seattle trails by 15 points with 15 games remaining in the regular season. The math is not adding up. The Seattle Mariners didn't play yesterday, a very rare day off. They're back at it today. The Reds will be in Peoria to take on the Mariners. That's an evening affair at 6:05. By the way, 1 week from today, opening day, when the Red Sox come to T-Mobile Park. Prep baseball scoreboard yesterday, a couple of games. Kashmir beat Tenaska 10-2, and Kettitas snuck by Chelan 4-2. There's more baseball today. It's a busier schedule. Waterville Mansfield will be in Peshastin to take on Cascade at 4:30. All these games are at 4:30 for baseball. Manson at Liberty Bell, Bridgeport at Brewster, and Orville will take on Okanagan. Prep softball scoreboard, a couple of blowouts. Kashmir all over Tenaska 21-4. Chelan no problems with Liberty Bell 25-5. Again, there's more games today than there was yesterday. Wenatchee will host East Valley at Walla Walla Point Park at 4 o'clock. At 4:30, it's Manson at Liberty Bell. Okanagan Fast Pitch Girls will be at Orville. Bridgeport will be at Brewster, and the Myra Cooley Hardline will take on Lake Roosevelt at 4. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Thursday. Happy, is it happy? I guess it could be happy. First of all, there's a couple of ones I want to mention out. It's World Vermouth Day, and it's Common Courtesy Day. We should practice at least one of those 2 holidays every day. No, today we're talking about Single Parents Day today, and I got some statistics courtesy of the United States Abstract. About 25% of all the children in this country are being raised in a single-parent household. A third of all single-parent households live at or below the poverty line. That's a troubling statistic. Single-parent households headed by women make up about 12% of all the households in this country. Single-parent households headed by men are only about 3% of all the households in this country. The average age of a single parent is 39 years old. Single fathers are more likely to live with somebody else than single mothers. And children are 50% more likely to suffer from physical and mental problems after their parents divorced. Now, of course, just because you're a single parent doesn't mean you're divorced. You could be a widow or a widower or something along those lines. It's Single Parents Day today. Hang in there, folks. It takes a village, 25 minutes after the hour. Today in history, Alcatraz is by far the most expensive federal prison in the entire system. It costs twice as much to house an inmate at Alcatraz than any other federal prison in the country. And finally, Bobby Kennedy, the Attorney General, said, we just got to shut it down. It's falling apart. It's decaying from the sea air and the salt water. And on this date in 1963, 61 years ago today, Alcatraz closes as a federal penitentiary. Here's a contemporary news account, and then I'm going to give you some interesting stats about Alcatraz. Take a look.
It's hail and farewell to Alcatraz. The dread rock in San Francisco Bay plays host to the press on its closing day. For the first time in its long penal history, reporters and cameramen are allowed to roam its innermost cell blocks and cells at will. Wearing handcuffs and leg irons, the last 27 of its 1,500 prisoners leave the crumbling, unsalvageable fortress for more modern federal penitentiaries. Under heavy guard, they will be flown to maximum security quarters in Atlanta, Leavenworth, and eventually the new Marion prison in southern Illinois. Maintenance guards will be the only inhabitants of the island until its final disposition is decided by Congress and the state of California. Families of the guards and prison workers who are being transferred to other assignments are probably the only ones who say goodbye to Alcatraz with any regret.
Alcatraz had a nasty reputation, and for good reason. Prisoners had very little leeway to do pretty much anything except live. They were given food, shelter, clothing, and basic health care, and that was about it. They did have one perk. They were allowed to take hot showers. The idea was if they allowed prisoners to take cold showers, they could acclimate their bodies to the cold water and then try and take a swim in the old San Francisco Bay. So they were allowed to take hot waters so they wouldn't get acclimated to it. And of course, life at Alcatraz wasn't just prisoners, because everybody who worked at Alcatraz had to live at Alcatraz. The guards and their families lived on the island in separate facilities, as you might imagine. It is now, of course, a park, and you can visit Alcatraz for a small fee. It's very popular. About 2 million people visit that every year. Why, I don't know. And we knew this was coming 44 years ago today, March 21st, 1980. Of course, the Soviet Union had invaded Afghanistan a few months earlier in December of 1979. The Western world, when you're not supposed to do that, they're a sovereign country, but the Soviet Union, they don't listen. And we all knew this was coming, and Jimmy Carter made it official. March 21st, 1980, he said, we're not going to Moscow for the 1980 Summer Olympics, and most of the Western world followed suit. We should have gone. We should have said we're above that, we're going to go anyway. It's just athletic competition, but it's the Olympics, and international geopolitics will always rear its ugly head. 2 birthdays. Ironically enough, my 3 favorite composers all celebrate their birthday on the same day: Johann, Sebastian, and Bach. They were all born on this date. In 1685, ironically enough, I listened to both Mass in B major and a little bit of the Brandenburg Concertos a couple of days ago, not even knowing it was his birthday today. Bach, among the greatest, born in the state in 1685. And Matthew Broderick, he landed on my radar when I went to see the movie War Games. When I was a senior in high school, it was a great movie. I thought, man, this guy is good. And of course, he is good. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and he was the voice of Simba in The Lion King, and he still works. He is 61 years old today. I want to take some time to thank our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air, for heat and air. Call Alpine Air. Friendly reminder, make sure you have your HVAC system looked at. Make sure it's ready to go for the oppressive summertime heat. That's not too far away. You don't want it breaking down in the middle of summer, and you can be proactive by having Alpine Air. Take a look-see. Special thanks to our friends at Pool to Spa Services. Speaking of summertime heat, it's coming. Get yourself a pool. Get yourself a spa. They'll take care of you there. Pool to Spa Services. And finally, our friends at Prestige Senior Living at Colonial Vista. Mike Mignotti just loves live theater. He can't get enough to talk about it. His opinion is coming up next. We're talking spring gardening tips with Bonnie Orr, because It's that time of the year. Bonnie will be joining me. She'll be my guest interview in the back half of the program. But first, Tyson the dog needs a home. It's Pause for Pets.
Pause for Pets is presented by Alpine Air Heating and Cooling, Merry Maids, Doghouse Brewery, Leavenworth, and Club Crow Bar and Grill.
Hi, I'm Sydney from Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and I'm the Animal Care Associate. And today we have Tyson. He is our pet of the week. Tyson is a 2-year-old Siberian Husky, maybe mix, and he is full of energy and has a great personality. He knows quite a few tricks. Well, he knows sit and shake. Tyson's been with us for about 4 months, so far too long. He was an owner surrender, but it was just because they were moving and they couldn't take him, so now he's here. But we all love Tyson. Something about Huskies is they howl, but Tyson has a unique howl and it's more like a yell, but everyone here gets so much joy out of it. He loves to play with toys and he loves fetch. He might not do great with kids in the home just because he does jump, but since he's younger, he still can be trained, and it just would take a lot of time and practice, but he'd be a great hiking buddy. He does great with other dogs. He has 2 to 3 other dogs that he plays with here, and he has the best zoomies when he gets out in play yard. Tyson, we don't know if he's good with cats, but that's always a trial and error. He might be okay with another dog. If you have another dog and you want to bring it here, you can, and they can meet. He is picky with his food, but he does love cheese, is what I have right now. And he loves hot dogs and any other just meat or hard and soft treats. And with toys, he does love tennis balls, but I think his favorite is the stuffed animals, because he does sometimes rip them apart, but that's just the joy he gets out of it. If you would like to come and meet Tyson, we are open 11 to 6, Thursday through Tuesday, and you can come meet this sweet boy and hopefully have him a part of your family.
Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. Pause for Pets is presented by Alpine Air Heating and Cooling, Merry Maids, Doghouse Brewery, Leavenworth, and Club Crow Bar and Grill.
Yo escogí Pinnacles porque aquí en la escuela es muy tranquilo porque hay pocos estudiantes y muchas oportunidades para ellos. Es una escuela pequeña y tranquila. Me gusta venir a la escuela cada día porque hacen que la escuela sea divertida.
Escogí la escuela Pinnacles porque es una gran escuela para la comunidad y también una gran experiencia para mi hijo.
Are you hungry enough to eat the end out of a rhinoceros? I know how you feel. Come on out to Blueberry Hills. You'll have a great time. We've got excellent food, a feet on the furniture kind of experience, and we won't hustle you out of your table. If you want a real farm experience, make the trek to Manson to Blueberry Hills, where you sit, you pick, you eat, and you visit. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
Headaches, neck or back pain? Been injured in a car accident, a work injury, or fall? Studies show that whiplash causes pain year after year. Your neck is supposed to be curved and acts like a spring to absorb shock, but when it's damaged, it straightens or reverses, and this causes headaches and pain. The solution is our specialized comprehensive combination care. You need our team of professionals who will address every point of your injury with very specific equipment and skill. Stop by Wenatchee or Leavenworth for a free consultation.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, my first real job was an usher in a movie theater, the Park Theater, Caldwell, New Jersey. Oh man, I love that job. And I do love the movies. A good plot, strong characters, and cool special effects. If they're believable, I love that stuff. But you know what's often better, just as good as a movie in its own way, is live theater. Watching real humans in real time play out lives and joys and tragedies, or a good comedy that just smacks your belly in the tummy so your tummy aches from laughing so much. And as for many of us, a good musical, well, that's not too schmaltzy, where you can just sit back and let the music wash over you. You know, I'm often surprised when I'm doing a show and talking about it by the number of people here locally who have never experienced good live theater. Are you one of them? Think about it. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Oh, comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here. Oh. I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
It's a great time to go into the medical profession. And this is the perfect place to start, because this is going to provide you that basic understanding in order to get into medical school, physical therapy school. So when you are ready to head on your career pathway, wherever it is, then you've already had some experience and say, oh, it's so cool. This is exactly what I want to do. So really, you're going to leave me with 13 college credits and a license with the state of Washington.
Equinoxes and solstices, you can't avoid them. This year, the vernal equinox is on Tuesday the 19th at 8:06 in the evening, and that means spring will officially be here. And what do we do 4 times a year on the equinoxes and the solstices? We visit with our friend Bonnie Orr to talk about what you need to know about gardening for the spring and summer and fall, for that matter, of 2024. Hello, Bonnie.
Hello, hello.
Bring me, oh yeah, here we go. Thank you. Now, normally I would eat this, but it's a faux pas to eat food.
Well, while you're trying to do this.
And especially a
and trying to
carrot.
Talk, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Well, that's from my winter garden.
Thank you. It will find a home in my tummy within the next
Yes,
couple of hours.
They're so wonderfully
I
sweet.
guarantee. Thank you very much. We always begin our conversation with recapping the winter that was in 2023, 2024. I have the newsletter right here from the National Weather Service. As a whole, it was slightly warmer and slightly wetter than normal, but that's kind of an anomaly, Bonnie. Let me get to it real quick. We had one of the warmest Decembers ever, the 7th warmest December on record. And then January went the exact opposite. We had a bunch of snow over a couple of days. We had 14 inches of snow in January alone. And we had 5 consecutive days in the middle of the month where we set record low temperatures for those 5 consecutive days. And then February was kind of normal.
Right.
So
Actually
we were
drier. I think. Yeah.
So we did a complete yo-yo.
Yeah.
Warm December, cold and snowy January, and then February was just kind of there. What does that mean to you, and what did that do to our garden?
Well, you know, that cold, there are, the roses really took it, and a whole bunch of other plants probably also have been damaged. I'm looking at this honeysuckle over here, and there's really quite a bit of dead material. And it's dry, okay? So I think that we're gonna have to do some very careful looking at our garden to see what's happening.
Well, let's talk about roses right off the top. How do you know your roses had a bad spring, a bad winter?
Because the canes are dead.
Okay.
Do you remember years ago when we had that where everything froze to the ground? But the canes here at this garden, this is the reason why you only trim them to the knee, because if you trimmed them all the way down like they do on the other side, you'd have nothing. Yeah, yeah.
So a warmer than normal December, a cold and snowy January. February was just kind of came and went, was kind of average. And now they are predicting, and they do this with a great deal of accuracy, a warmer than normal spring and a slightly drier than normal spring. In fact, this year could be very, very warm and very dry.
Which means that you want to leave your mulch on for as long as possible, or else apply mulch if you don't have any. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the mulch going to dry out real quick? Because it has to have a little bit of moisture, doesn't it?
Well,
to do its thing?
no. The mulch will sort of pack down a little bit,
Okay.
but it's important to maintain the soil moisture. And how else can you do that?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
If you're into tidy, it's not going to work.
So again, the outlook for spring is warmer than normal and drier than normal. So El Nino is waning and La Nina may be coming our way. That's not really what we want.
Right.
Are the days of normal highs and lows that we remember from the 70s and 80s and into the early 90s, are they gone?
Well, yeah, but then you think about the normal from the 1920s and 40s. I mean, when they had truly massive cold and massive snow, that was normal. So who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? You know, the weather is what it is, and we can do nothing about it.
Nope.
And complaining isn't going to work at all. It just annoys me. I'm going, excuse me, you know.
Last year, I think I remember I told you, I thatched my yard for the first time ever. I've been living there since November of 2017. I'd never thatched the yard. I thatched the yard. I couldn't believe how much twigs and dead grass that was keeping the moisture, the water from penetrating the soil that I dug up. It was incredible. It was a bunch of garbage bags, and the yard went fabulously happy after that.
Okay, it's not dead grass, it's dead roots.
Right.
Okay, because the grass is 90% water.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes a major difference on getting water down to the roots. And if you have more than an inch of thatch, it's going to prevent the roots from getting moisture. That's one of the things you need to do now, okay, is thatching. And the other thing is this week for sure getting down the pre-emergence. The pre-emergent herbicides for crabgrass, because crabgrass was really extensive last year because people had a hard time getting it down. So what happens is you put this pre-emergent herbicide down, and if you put it down, okay, so what happens is that the crabgrass seed germinates and then is immediately killed by this herbicide. If you put it down too late, what happens is the plant continues to grow and goes, oh, okay, off I go, okay? So that has to be gotten. The other really big lawn thing was spotted spurge and purslane. There are pre-emergence for those, but those do not germinate until the soil is about 65 or 70. And so you need to put those down, well, probably in the middle of April, since it's going to be warmer. We know that it's time to put down the pre-emergent for crabgrass when the forsythia blooms, which is that yellow bush by the high school, or the redbud tree. Okay? So when that first starts to come out, the redbud, that's the other evidence that the ground is 50 degrees.
Do I need to thatch every year?
No.
You don't?
Thatch is a man-made problem.
Okay.
And I'm going to stress the man-made.
Life is a man-made problem for that matter. So
but what it is that thatch is caused by incorrect watering and too much fertilizer.
So you don't have to thatch every year, but you still need to thatch maybe third or fourth.
Fifth year, maybe.
What if you have, like, say, a lot of trees and your yard gets more shade? Then it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
You mentioned that the roses had a bad year. You still got to go out there and take care of them.
Yeah, what you do is you cut them before the leaves come out.
Mm-hmm.
This would be a good week to go out. It's going to be sunny. It'll be nice. Yeah.
We're here at the demonstration garden. If anybody knows how to take care of roses, it's these folks.
Right.
Can you come out here and figure out how it's done?
Yes, and on March 16th, they're going to have a demonstration on how to prune them.
Okay. Cool.
So that'll be good.
And if not, you can just watch an old episode of Green Thumbs and Dirty Knees.
There we go.
Online.
Because we did lots of that.
So, let's talk fruit trees.
Okay, the law requires that apples and cherries have to be done. If you don't know what to do, or if you've just bought a house that has those trees, the Master Gardeners can help you. Okay, Master Gardeners will have, starting April 3rd, in-person clinics. And you can go to chelanmastergardeners@gmail.com. You can go there and ask questions, and we can send you the spray schedules. But it is required.
Most people, I think, have been getting rid of those, right? I mean, there were houses that would have one apple tree or one cherry tree just to have, but if you don't maintain it, you're just inviting trouble for the commercial orchardists.
Oh yes, and we hear horror stories.
Yeah.
We really do.
So when in doubt, cut it down.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
that's really-
The chainsaw is your best friend.
For one thing, you got to pick when the fruit gets
300 pounds of apples.
What are you going to do with them? Right, exactly, exactly. Mulching for heat, veggie and flowers.
Important.
Yeah.
Important. Okay, ground up leaves. Okay, there's still leaves. They haven't all blown away yet. So I would be saving those leaves, grind them up with the lawnmower, and spread them out on your flower beds. It's way too early to start your vegetable garden. Okay, the thing is that people plant things just because it's sunny, and I'm going to bet you anything we're going to find people out this week,
absolutely,
planting their gardens.
Way too early.
Okay, so the root, when the ground is cold, the roots really suffer, and the roots are what make the plant go.
Mm-hmm.
And when the leaves start to turn purple, you'll know that it actually is too cold. The soil needs to be a minimum of 60 for a tomato, and if you're going to plant beans or corn, the soil has to be a minimum of 70. And the past few years, and we have had cold springs, it's been the end of May before we reach those temperatures. If you have a little digital thermometer, it's a great thing to push it down 8 inches to see how warm the soil is. Otherwise, you'll be replanting beans, replanting corn, and your tomatoes will sit there and go like this.
Yeah, is it me, or has it been quite a number of years since we had a really good tomato year? I have a lot of friends who grow tomatoes, and they said the last couple of years just has been tough.
Well, one of the things that's happened this last year is our nights got cold in August. Our nights got in the 50s in August. Finished off my figs, I'll have to tell you, but also the tomatoes don't ripen as well. So, yeah.
They're temperamental, aren't they?
They are. Their range is 60 to 85.
And that's not very much.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's not very much at all.
It's not very much.
So tomato seeds don't start them until March 30th,
Right.
if that.
Well, if we're going to have it warmer, but you plant out in about 6 weeks, and if you go more than 6 weeks, they just get too gangly and they never recover.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, never recover. So
You mentioned last year we had the most frost-free days ever.
I know, isn't that just amazing? 198 frost-free days.
That is 25 more, rough. I'm guessing more than we would normally
I think
have.
it's normally 175, 179.
So that's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah, but it didn't do us any good because the nights got cold in August. So those things, for harvesting and everything. But, I think that instead of running out and planting your garden prematurely, because the big box stores are going to have plants for you, but that's because the big box stores' offices are on the other side of the mountains,
Right.
I think that rather than going crazy and planting, you should go for a hike.
There you go. That makes complete sense. Nobody likes to weed. It's one of those chores. It's got to get done. But if you stay ahead of it, it's really not a problem.
This is the time to weed. I only weed once a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I weed, and then I put down mulch, and that's it. And you really can keep ahead of it.
If you have a strong, healthy, dense lawn, the weeds never have a chance to get going because they get choked off.
You will not, and so most of the people who are having problems with spotted spurge or purslane it's because their lawns are weak in particular places. And more fertilizer is not going to make it grow better. It's a matter of watering correctly. And again, the master gardeners are here at the community education garden. There's always events on the third Saturdays, and you can ask master gardeners about correct watering practice.
People out there who never bothered to rake up their leaves and their twigs in the autumn. The leaves came and they got lazy and they watched football, and then the snow came. And it was like, oh crap, I didn't rake my leaves. What do they need to know?
Well, they're going to use those leaves for mulch right now.
Okay.
Okay. We had so little snow actually, that I don't think anyone's going to have snow mold.
Okay.
Okay, which is a fungus which the grass grows out of. I don't think there's going to be any problems.
We had a little bit of snow in December, about 4 inches, but it also melted very quickly because it was so warm. Then we had 2 days of very heavy snow in January, followed by bitterly cold. But then the snow took its sweet time melting away, and that means something, doesn't it?
Well, yes, because essentially the water evaporated rather than soaking into the ground.
So if you think we had 14 inches of snow and it all went into the ground, it didn't. So.
Okay, but also 14 inches of snow is only 1.4
Yeah.
inches of water if you're lucky.
Exactly.
You know, depending on.
And does the water content of the snow play a significant role? Heavy, wet snow as opposed to dry, powdery snow? Does that really mean anything?
I think dry, powdery tends to evaporate more rapidly.
Okay.
Okay, I can't tell you that for sure.
Okay.
That would be my sense.
Yeah. Well, I trust you.
That would
I
be
trust
my
you on that.
sense.
You have any number of events coming up. Let's talk about that.
Okay, so there are many things to do. Arbor Day, first of all. Arbor Day is April 13th in Kashmir, Entiat, Wenatchee at Pybus, and East Wenatchee City Hall, Kashmir, Martin's Marketplace, and Entiat at the City Hall. And there are 4 species this year, and again, they've been chosen for drought tolerance and appropriate things.
Who makes those decisions, by the way?
A committee of the Greater Arbor Day, Wenatchee Arbor Day group.
And every year it's a little bit different.
Yeah, because there's different people that
Sure.
make decisions, and very careful thought goes into it.
Oh, I bet it does.
Yeah. Yeah.
I talked to Lyle last year. He walked me through the whole thing.
Right.
The Pybus market was teeming with people. It helped that it was a beautiful day.
And also it was Sustainable Wenatchee that we hooked on with them.
That was a great event.
Yes.
That really
Yeah.
was. So what do people know if they want to participate in Arbor Day again? Yeah, on April 30th is a Saturday, right?
Yeah, from 9 to 12.
Okay.
Okay.
Pybus Public Market is in the Wenatchee location. They'll have it at the East Wenatchee City Hall, at Martin's Marketplace in Kashmir, and the City Hall in Entiat. What do folks need to know if they say, I'm coming and I'm getting some stuff?
They need to offer us a donation of $5 because that's what it cost us to buy the plants, and they need to bring a bag.
So bring $10 so you have a little kitty.
Yeah, we can
like
have a
that.
kitty too. Yes,
Absolutely,
yes,
like that.
And then the master gardeners always grow fabulous plants. In fact, they are starting them this week. Okay, like the peppers, things that take a little bit longer to grow, and that they're going to start the tomatoes on the 30th of March, and the sale is on the last Saturday of April, which is
April
the 27th.
Yep.
Okay, and I do not know the location.
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
Right, we'll find out.
Okay, because it's going to be changed.
Mm-hmm.
And then
The third Saturday of
The
each
third
month,
Saturday
you
of
have
each
a little,
month.
you have a little wing ding.
there's always a little wingding. There's people here. There's people to answer questions. There's a presentation of some kind. So
We're at the demonstration garden, as we mentioned at the beginning of it. This is just a great, because if it exists and it grows and it is designed to grow here in this area, it doesn't matter what it is, it's here somewhere.
Somewhere.
This is a cornucopia, a microcosm of pretty much anything you can do.
You know, and one of the other things with that is that if you see plants that you are particularly attracted to in somebody else's yard, you know, as you're walking along the street, you can take a picture and bring us the picture. We can identify the plant if you don't do it on, you know, one of the automatic things
Right.
on your camera. But we can also tell you about the growing conditions for it. Yeah.
And one last little piece of advice, especially for you folks who bought a home on a new lot that used to be an orchard, and we do this every year. Say you bought your house in October and November. You didn't really have to worry about landscaping or planting anything as you were transitioning from autumn to winter. And this is your first year or first spring in your brand new house that's never had a garden or a lawn. Let's talk about soil testing.
Well, okay, there's several reasons for soil testing. One is if it was in an orchard that was started before 1948, okay, you would have to be concerned about lead and arsenate. But after that, no. There also is a website that you can go to on soil, okay, where soil contamination, and it will tell you exactly. You put your address in, and it'll tell you exactly, okay, what your soil is like. But I want to talk about soil testing, period,
Yes.
because people buy bags and bags of fertilizer, okay? And then, and it's amazing how many times people have a soil test done, and they bring us the results and say, what does this mean? It's almost always excess nitrogen and excess phosphorus, because they've been buying expensive bags of fertilizer and their soil does not need it. If your soil doesn't need it, what happens is it gets washed into the groundwater. Not a good thing.
No.
The other thing is, if you put down fertilizer too soon, what's going to happen is that if nothing is growing, it cannot be taken up. So again, the product washes away. Okay, so timely use of fertilizers is important.
Absolutely.
But soil test, you can, there's all sorts of companies, and you just send in a couple of cups of soil, and then they tell you about it. It is well worth the money.
Absolutely.
Rather than overdoing your soil.
And one last little piece of advice that Bonnie has taught us all over the years, wherever it is that you plant something, if you're working with a blank slate, it's going to grow. You have to keep that in mind. I mean, there's arborvitaes have their place, but you want to be careful where you're going to put them because...
That's right. The right tree in the right place, utility lines, all those other wonderful things. Yep. Yeah. You know, it's if you have just bought a house that somebody else has landscaped, I always like to suggest you wait for 1 full year just to see what grows, and also your light pattern, where you don't know where your shade is or where your light is. And so figuring those things out will make you a much happier gardener than just going in and doing. This is a great time to go hiking. You know, yeah, you know, that first year you live in the house because you don't even know what's there.
Bonnie's point is well taken. I've told this story before, but when I bought my first house in November of 1991, it was November of 1991. I had no idea I had tulips. You know, I found out in April that I had tulips, and a lot of them. It was a pleasant surprise, but I did that. I took your advice. I didn't do anything for a year, and then I figured out what was going on.
Well, you know, it was something that was really interesting is that I know of a family that bought a house that it was an older house, and they were so excited, and they decided they were going to have minimal landscape. Mm-hmm. So they covered everything with landscape fabric and with bark. Well, the next spring, there's all these pops because there are about 10,000 bulbs. And the bulbs are going to grow no matter what. I mean, it was just a mess.
Bonnie, it's always great to see you. Once I want to recap the events coming up. The Arbor Day is April 13th. Again, all over the place. And we're going to be, as we get closer to that, we'll let you know more about that as we get going. Master Gardeners Plant Sale is on April 27th. The in-person clinics begin on April 3rd, or there is an in-person clinic on April 3rd, and every third Saturday here at the demonstration garden. If you want to learn more, come here and learn more.
And you can also email us at chelanmastergardeners@gmail.com.
Yep. And take a picture. Take a picture.
Take pictures and send us pictures.
Mark Kulas sends his love.
Good.
And it was good to see everybody at the KPQ Home Expo. Looks like everybody had a good time.
Yeah, it looks like that. Yeah, we were busy.
Yeah, that's good. We like that.
Yeah, that was good.
Bonnie, everybody, give her a hand. Thank you for the carrot. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, and we will be right back.
Abby says thank you to all the hometown heroes making our community so great. If you know a deserving hometown hero, shoot us an email, hero@abbys.com. Every week, we'll thank some of these heroes with a free giant pizza. Abby's, proud to serve your community. Be a hero tonight. Treat your family and friends to Abby's famous hometown hero pizza. This giant features our classic pepperoni, tasty Italian sausage, and crisp green peppers for a one-of-a-kind legendary flavor. Visit abbys.com for a special pizza at a very special price.
Imagine a science project being done on the kitchen table. Feel the excitement on Christmas morning as the kids race down the stairs to form memories that cannot be erased. Listen for the laughter coming from the next room. Put your family in a new home to make these visions become reality with Coldwell Banker Cascade. Use the Move Meter entering 2 cities and see how a potential move scores based on the cost of living and other factors. Make your dream place a reality with Coldwell Banker Cascade today.
By the looks of it, it looks like we're in for another beautiful, sunny, warm day, and we are. For the most part, if you haven't had a chance to get out and enjoy this incredible weather we've been having over the last 5-6 days, today's the day because the big changes come tonight. We transition on Friday and Saturday, cloudy, wet, and downright cool. From the National Weather Service, one more look at your forecast. We'll take 62. No problems with that. A little breezy at times today, but nothing we can't handle. And a little cooler than yesterday's high of 69. 43. For the overnight low tonight. Friday is the transition day as the cool and wet weather begins to roll in. By Friday, say 10 p.m., 11 p.m., maybe midnight, it'll start raining. We'll get down to 42. Rain all day on Saturday. We could get up to 1/4 inch of rain in the Wenatchee Valley. That's a lot of rain. Snow in the upper elevations, but not much. And we're only going to get to 50, so we're going to go from record high temperatures to about 5 degrees below normal. By the time we get to Saturday, rain tapers off on Sunday, a few degrees warmer with some sun breaks. We do it all over again on Monday. And basically all of next week, for the most part, looks pretty unsettled with snow in the mountains and rain in the valleys and cooler temperatures. That's it for us. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
My friend Jennifer Veal and I are exploring our nation's capital. First, we'll journey back in time with a trip to Mount Vernon, Virginia. This is actually where the first president lived. Then we'll head into Washington, D.C. for a pedicab trivia tour.
George Washington, let's see, boom, yes!
Then we're off to take a historic float down the Potomac. We're gonna go on this monuments tour, and it's gonna be pretty cool, right?
I'm ready to go.
And make some epic discoveries. We just saw the vice president go by. It's a trip into America's political center that you don't want to miss. So come on, let's see Virginia as our nation's capital. Welcome to Elizabeth Stanton's Great Big World from Virginia and Washington, D.C. Hi, I'm Elizabeth Stanton.
And I'm Jennifer Veal.
And we are here at Mount Vernon.
Wait, what is Mount Vernon?
Well, this is actually where the first president lived.
Oh, wow. So wait, hang on, he didn't live in the